What's it like for four young English boys to suddenly be introduced and shaking hands with royalty?
I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it.
Brian May.
I'm not particularly into all that, the royalty stuff, but I was surprised how much of a charisma or aura, whatever you like to call it, the Charles and Diana had, really. I enjoyed it. I liked meeting them. They were very nice, very charming, and genuinely interested. You know, there's obviously no falseness about them whatsoever. They're interested in what was going on. They understand where we come from, a lot more than I expected, and it's very nice. It does give you a nice feeling, I suppose. It's a kind of, it's like when you're a kid and your mother and father tell you you're a good boy and pat you on the head. You know, it gives you a certain, it's irrational and maybe you shouldn't feel it, but you do feel it. You feel, oh good, I've done something right for a change, you know.
Plus also I would think, I mean, because Charles and Diana are pretty much our age. You know,
That's
same
true,
same
yeah.
generation.
Yeah, that's right.
And here this guy is the future king of England. How
Yeah.
Biondo hanging out with him backstage at a rock and roll
Strange,
concert.
yeah. I like him a lot, actually. I've had a lot of respect for Charles for a long time because he's never been afraid to say what he thinks, and it's not easy. You know, the king or the queen in England is not really a position of power anymore. I'm sure you know that. You know, it's not like being the president. But the controls which are exerted on them are enormous. You know, they have to kind of tread this very fine diplomatic line, and Charles has never really felt that he had to be told what to say. He said a lot of things which weren't easy to say at the time. I can respect that. I think he'd be a great king when it comes.
There seems to be a burgeoning interest in the social conscience of rock and rollers. I'm thinking of Live Aid and Amnesty.
Yeah.
And where do you think this is coming from? I mean, 10 years ago it would have been, you know, sit on it.
I think people are just a bit more practical these days because people always did a lot of talking about it. You know, in the 60s there was this big consciousness of let's spread peace and love and everything, but nobody really knew how to do it. And I think Joan Baez was quoted recently. Was it Joan Baez? No, hang on. It was Grace Slick, and she said, she was asked, how did Live Aid compare with Woodstock? And she said, it's totally different. She said, Woodstock was a total waste of time because everyone was just into themselves. And Live Aid was an outward-going thing, and it actually affected people's lives who needed some help. So it certainly makes me happy. I think rock and roll's grown up a bit, and things occasionally get done right.
A Kind of Magic is the first Queen album in 2 years. No, it didn't take them that long to record it. They were busy with other projects, like solo albums, movie soundtracks, and educational videos. Educational videos? Are you ready for Brian May, music teacher? Well, get your notebooks ready. We've got guitar class coming up right after this. You've done some things outside making records in the past year. You designed a guitar for commercial.
Oh yes, well the Guild guitar is a copy of mine, which I've used for years and years and years, that me and my dad made 20 years ago. And they made a very good job of it. Unfortunately, it's very expensive, and I'm a little upset that it's become a sort of elitist thing as opposed to something that everyone can have if they want, because that's not the way it was meant to be. So maybe in the future we can make a cheaper version.
It's an exact copy of your guitar, though?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's very, very close, and it sounds very close.
Also, you made a video?
Yes, the Starlix video, which is to a kind of teaching aid to people who want to play like other people play. I think it's a good thing, and the people who run it are well on the ball. And it's a shame it couldn't have been done earlier. I would have liked to have had a Starlix of Eric Clapton when I was trying to learn the guitar. It would have been wonderful. I think it's a very good thing. I would like to see more people do it. I want to see George Harrison do it, and Eric Clapton. And, you know, I think it's a nice thing because you can you can say so much more in a video than you could ever say on a piece of paper. You can see the guy's hands moving, you can hear what comes out, and it's a very close thing.
You are the only one of the band who hasn't yet done the solo album.
No, because I can't sing.
Are you sure?
Yes, well, yes, it's pretty bad, but I might have singing lessons one day.
Yeah. Is that sort of a void in your career? Do you wish you had done that?
Yes, I mean, of course I do. It's awful. It's like being in a wheelchair in a way, because you can't actually express yourself in the way that you'd like to. I mean, if I could sing, it would be lovely. You know, I could, no, it's a handicap, a great handicap in terms of writing songs. Yeah. I wish I could, but I can't.
When you write a song and do a demo?
Well, mainly, you see, I've worked with Freddie for most of my career, and I mean, he's very good, because I'll come up with certain ideas and he just improves on them. You know, and I haven't really worked with many other singers, really.
You've sold around 25 million albums. You've won countless awards, everything from Best New Artist to America's Favorite Group. You've had #1 songs in every country that has a radio station, and even in a few that don't. So what's left? We'll hear what challenges keep Queen in the game right after this. We're back with Queen, Off the Record. Is music still the most important thing in your life? Do you ever outgrow this, I wonder?
Sometimes I think it's time I should have outgrown it, you know. I should really sort of be outgrowing it. But then I think it sort of comes back to it that I suppose it is the most important thing. It's just that I get a bit sick of it sometimes, I think. You know, sometimes you've had enough. On the road, I don't get sick of it. In the studio, I do. And I can't listen to music anymore. I mean, the last thing I want to hear in the car is the damn radio, you know, with music on it, because it's just too much. You know.
You've had years of success, Freddie. Gold albums, international tours, all the stuff that kids dream of when they start a band. So what keeps you going now? What challenges are left?
It's a survival test, you know. And I mean, of course, we could all just go away and say, okay, we've had enough, and live happily ever after. But I mean, I don't think that's what we're in. We're in it to make music, and the way I think, what else could I do? I mean, this is the thing that interests me most. You don't know what it means when you write a song where people actually appreciate and they say it's a good song. It's a wonderful feeling.
You know, it's funny after all these years that you still get a bad rap from the critics.
I think we've learned to live with that. I mean, that's sort of, I mean, I think we've been living with that kind of thing for nearly about the last 5 or 6 or even 7 years. And now it's just a standard thing. It's just a norm, to be honest, and it doesn't worry me at all. I've never let the press worry me. I mean, in the early days, you think about it and go out and buy the papers and make sure that you were in it and all that. And now it's a completely different setup, because it's your music, and basically what you worry about is the people that buy your product. That's what keeps us going. It's a kind of magic.